If you hear the words Norfolk and train in the same sentence, you probably think of this, or if you're a real one, this. But did you know that Norfolk, Virginia is also home to a very small train that never really got off the ground? This is the Tide, a 7.4-mile light rail with only 2,900 daily riders in the third quarter of 2025. Still, in its short run, this train serves a busy downtown and a handful of suburbs. So why isn't it longer? The only way to find out is to go for a ride. Norfolk, Virginia is located in the southeast of the state and home to about 238,000 people, as well as Naval Station Norfolk, the world's largest naval base. Located at the confluence of the Elizabeth River and the Chesapeake Bay, this city is no stranger to the water, and it makes sense that they call their light rail the Tide, although other rejected names include the Bay Runner and the Bay Breeze. Starting at EVMC Fort Norfolk Station, the line travels 7.4 miles east to Newtown Road. We're getting on at Monticello Station in downtown. This area is fun to explore, with lots of shops and restaurants, and we even found Mexican food for Calcadon. Walking up to the median station, you can see the unique design of the Tide's right-of-way. It's in the street, but tracks are slightly raised above the level of traffic, discouraging drivers from blocking the train. This station's island platform hosts perhaps the quaintest-looking shelter I've ever seen. Our first train pulls in, one of 9 Siemens S70s in the system's fleet. We curve onto East Charlotte Street, then stop at a traffic light. Once another vehicle passes, we swing around Farragut Park, named for David Farragut, the first admiral of the U.S. Navy, who also lends his name to Farragut's north and west on the DC Metro. After our first stop at York Street and Freemason, we join Brambleton Avenue and cross a body of water called the Hague, from which we can catch a glimpse of the Elizabeth River. Then we arrive at the station serving the Eastern Virginia Medical Center, along with the historic Fort Norfolk. I'm not alone in riding the Tide. There are actually other people on the train with me, including...
Hey, 29 down the line. I have a channel, lived down here for most of the year, so yeah, happy to be on the light rail. It's always an interesting ride, so.
And...
Hi!
Calcadon has a low. One break to look around the station and admire our train, and we're heading west again, crossing the inlet and passing the Thomas Jefferson, a NOAA hydrographic survey vessel. This car that we're passing, number 407, was the first S70 delivered to Norfolk, numbered one above the city's highest numbered streetcar from back in the day. We pass Norfolk Scope Arena, opened in 1971. Then we get back to Monticello, or is it Monticello?
So for Monticello, the light rail pronounces it Monticello, but the drivers and the buses, at least the drivers on the buses and the automatic assets on the buses, say Monticello. And from what I've heard, locals say Monticello. So.
Moving on, we reach the MacArthur Center, a mostly dead-feeling mall, and cross City Hall Avenue to arrive in MacArthur Square Station.
So it's really cool. They have these light up no left turn over the rail tracks. This is one of the sections where they have that. It's cool. For where it does street running, it's really not that bad compared to Baltimore. It does street running okay. The problem is we're about to cross St. Paul's Boulevard. Trains almost always get stopped there, and so do the buses, just because the light is just timed horribly. So we'll probably be stopping in a couple seconds.
We can see the city's courthouse approaching Civic Plaza. Then we head towards the highway.
And after Civic Plaza, you can say goodbye to urbanism, because from here it's just either middle of nowhere or suburbs.
We pass under Route 264 and reach Harbor Park, home to the Norfolk Tides. This stop is also conveniently next to the city's Amtrak station, where a thruway bus waits to take passengers between here and Newport News. We continue up onto a winding elevated section, rolling along it until we reach NSU Station, serving Norfolk State University, which had 5,600 students in the fall of 2019.
So as far as I know, this is where trains switch from that vertical and horizontal white line transit signaling to just regular red and green railroad signals, and maybe that's why they have this hold for clear sign. And on the other side, I'm not sure what kind of signals they use, but towards downtown, they use normal tram signals, and then towards Virginia Beach, it's like a normal railroad line.
So since we're on an elevated platform, the question remains, what is below the platform?
beautiful. This is a cool view. If I had more time, I'd get some rail fanny shots here.
So the bridge pylons here, these are very, very Hampton Roads, very coastal. So if you're on the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, this is the kind of pylon there is. It's, I guess, to mitigate waves and the force of the ocean. I'm not sure. Why they used them here, I don't know. Maybe it's just, you know, what people are used to. But yeah, pretty cool constructions. The only not at grade station on the entire system.
It also looks very wet.
Water doesn't drain, no.
When they said the tide, I didn't think they meant that this literally. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Soon another train arrives.
Is this going on YouTube? Can you put me in it?
Sure.
I'm in it. Oh, hey y'all.
We descend from the elevated section, passing the university, including its stadium. From here to the end of the line, we're on former Norfolk Southern trackage. So yeah, with less than 10 miles, the tide has nevertheless hit all of the modern American light rail tropes. Siemens vehicles, street running, windy elevated bits, proof of payment systems, and reused trackage. Except this line wasn't originally built by the Norfolk Southern we know today. It was built by another railroad, also called Norfolk Southern, that ran both freight and electric interurbans between Norfolk and the larger neighboring city of Virginia Beach. And speaking of Virginia Beach, we've arrived at Newtown Road, the end of the line. And then down here we find one of the greatest tragedies in Virginia transit history.
This, the middle of the road right here, this is Newtown Road. This is the Virginia Beach, Norfolk city limit.
Hold on, did you just say Norfolk?
Norfolk.
Norfolk? Is that Norfolk?
Yeah, the R is kind of only half pronounced. It's a thing.
And this road marks the dividing line between Norfolk and Virginia Beach. As in, the dividing line goes down the middle of the road. And here we are in beautiful Virginia Beach, Virginia. Over there is little old Norfolk, Virginia. We'll just ignore that for now. And we have this lovely mass rapid transit line. Just kidding, it's an abandoned right-of-way. Goes into the middle of the street, like we said. And then over there, the right-of-way continues as light rail. So it is worth noting that the departure sign on that train says EMC, and I keep thinking it's E equals MC squared.
It's the theory of relativity.
So while there aren't a lot of people on the train, let's just show off the accessibility areas. We've got the priority seating here in the middle section. It says please allow seniors and persons with disabilities to use the seats. There's also a hook for bikes, which seems a little awkward because these seats can't, or do they fold up?
I think they do, yeah.
Oh, they do. They do. Excellent. But not enough space for a wheelchair.
No. Oh, they got this one here.
Unless it's a really narrow chair. We do have a wheelchair space over here, complete with a wheelchair accessible stop request and passenger assistance. And then here's the map. I love how they have every feeder bus route. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. See, Norfolk is only one part of a larger metro area known as Hampton Roads. This region is sprawled across the mouth of the James River, and several smaller rivers emptying into the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, with cities like Newport News, Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Virginia Beach surrounding the ever-present water. In fancy geography speak, this area is known as a roadstead, hence the name Hampton Roads. Of course, there are also roads in the more roady sense, and these roads carry buses run by Hampton Roads Transit, or HRT, which also runs the Tide. In 1999, when this agency was formed, the local Tidewater Transportation District Commission had been pushing a planned 18-mile light rail line for 2 years. This would have connected downtown Norfolk with the waterfront of Virginia Beach. But when the plan came before Virginia Beach voters in the fall of '99, it was rejected by 56% of the electorate, leaving only Norfolk to build their half of the system, using a combination of federal, state, and local funds. Thus, the Tide feels exactly like only half of a light rail system, because it is exactly that. So perhaps could the line expand? One proposal, to bring the line up the narrow Hampton Boulevard to Old Dominion University and Naval Station Norfolk, was deemed too costly by HRT in 2018. Man, ODU can't catch a break with transit projects. The lowest hanging fruit is still an extension into Virginia Beach. In 2011, that city purchased the former Norfolk Southern right-of-way, with the hope of expansion. But in 2016, the local electorate once again rejected expansion of the light rail into their turf, leaving the Tide stuck in Norfolk to this day. At least it takes us close to the ferry terminal. Ish. Okay, so Calcadon, what do you think of Norfolk so far?
I like the Mexican food.
running to catch the ferry. We're almost there. A couple minutes to go. Wait, I love how the ferry terminal has the same kind of pylon as the light rail. Waterside. I mean, technically every ferry is at the waterside. HRT's ferry system runs paddle-wheeled boats regularly between Norfolk and Portsmouth, and if you have time after riding the tide, I absolutely recommend them, if only for the magnificent views of the city skyline and parked aircraft carriers. If the metro area of Hampton Roads was reorganized as a single city under a single administration, it would be one of the largest cities in the nation, with over 1 million people, and perhaps the ability to make more unified decisions on rail transit. Instead, it's a conglomeration of a bunch of smaller cities, each with their own governments and ideals. Many of these administrative divisions are due to their natural water barriers, with rivers keeping city from city, and only limited bridges allowing traffic across. Millennia of currents and waves have shaped the land into a place well suited for each settlement to have its own independent government and priorities. Some chose light rail, and some rejected it. So in the end, perhaps the reason the tide is so short is because of the tide.